Hi and welcome to the Bite Size Fitness Podcast with myself, Sean Newton, and Pete Dudley, where we chat unscripted live from the gym basement. Listen in, hope you enjoy. And here we are again.
Here we are. Hi, Sean.
Hello, Pete. So, more bike talk, but very relevant.
Yeah, a little bit relevant. I think everyone who's been on a bike has potentially fallen off.
Yeah.
Or, a lot of people ask me a lot of the time, "Well, you're always on the bike, have you had an accident?" I said, yeah, I have had. Have had accidents. Not many.
Is it a mammal thing with those clips, though?
No, because...
I know it sounds like a daft question, but yeah, I've seen people stop at traffic lights and, find themselves...
I was with my mate a few years ago. This is probably only about, I think I mentioned before, I only got into road biking in about 2012.
Yeah.
So I'd only just, and I've got a friend of mine I go to Spain with lots, and Santi, his name is. He's a fan of the balancing on the old bike at the lights.
Yeah.
And we did it after one particular ride. This was about 2013, maybe something like that. So and he was down near Brighton at the fire station, and he was on the lights, and he fell off.
Yeah.
He literally just went, because if you clips in, and you can't get it out quick enough, then you are going to fall off.
Right.
But that isn't a reason not to clip in, because having clips in are epic.
Sure.
And they help you in many, many ways. But
but obviously, falling over or coming off your bike.
Coming off your bike,
it's
a case of unfortunately, if you're cycling in town or anywhere, I think it's a case of when rather than if.
Okay.
I think you have to be prepared that and it does depend on how many hours you spend out on the bike. I mean, obviously, if you want to go out every Sunday for a little ride and you keep it flat, then it's unlikely that the chances of you falling off are a lot less. But ultimately, the chances are you could fall off. I mean, accidents happen, don't they? Anything can jump out on you, whether you've got clips on or not. Anything can jump out. You could get a tyre blow. Anything can happen. A dog can run out in front of you. There's all loads of little. I mean, you're out in the hazard world.
Sure.
And you're on two wheels, so there is a chance.
Hence why we mentioned about wearing a helmet last
Yes.
time. And
I've got
to share here.
Talking about helmets, and I am a massive advocate for wearing helmets, and I think I see cyclists cycling around town without helmets, and I think
guilty.
You're just risking every time you're on the bike.
Yeah.
And I've had a fair few accidents, but the most recent one that caused an issue was in 2013.
Right.
And this was that one occasion where I didn't wear my helmet.
Right.
But the reasons why wasn't just because I decided I didn't want to wear my helmet. What happened was I'd basically stayed with a friend who was literally 5 seconds from the gym, and I cycled to her house, and she was literally 2 or 3 roads from the gym where I was working. And I just cycled to hers. I just cycled to hers. I didn't even put my helmet on. It was literally one street up, and I didn't put it on.
Yeah.
And so I spent the afternoon, and then I cycled back, and I ended up cycling back to my house. And basically, my helmet wasn't with me. I left my helmet at hers.
Right.
I basically cycled to hers without. I'm trying to get the story right because it's quite a few years ago. Basically, I didn't have my helmet, right?
Yeah.
I'd left my helmet either at home, or there was a reason why I didn't have it.
Right.
Because I hadn't been planning to cycle on this particular day. This was Bank Holiday Monday.
Yeah.
On May the 27th, 2013. I'd arrived at the gym because I think I'd left my helmet somewhere else, basically.
Sure.
And I was going to get it later that day. I think that's the basics of what happens. And I was on my mountain bike, because I've got a road bike and a mountain bike.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm not going to cycle today. So I did an indoor cycle session.
Yeah.
A stationary bike. Did about an hour on that. Got to about 5 p.m. On Bank Holiday Monday.
Yeah.
And my friend Quintin, who I'd been badgering to go out for a ride, and never around, messaged me about 4 p.m. on Monday and say, "Pete, the weather's great. Do you want to go for a bike ride?" I'm like, I don't feel, I've already done it into a bike, I'm not on the right bike, I don't have my helmet. And he was like, come on, I'm going to meet you outside the gym, it'd be fine, we're only going to go. And I was like, look, I don't need to, I'll be right. And he literally badgered me. I went, oh, you know what, it's an alright day, what's going to happen? The fatal words.
Yeah.
So he met me outside the gym, we went for a little pootle about, and it wasn't far, it was 10k, 15k, something like that. And we ended up down, now I don't know if I should get street specific here,
Okay.
but there's a street in Brighton called Lewis Road.
All right. Yeah.
It's quite a busy road, and at the time they were doing lots of road works, and they were changing the cycle lane, they were changing the bus lane, they were changing the taxi lane. I mean, they were doing everything to this bit of road. I mean, it was well known at this time to be a bad setup in terms of cones everywhere, and it was very confusing about where we should be.
Yeah.
I was in the cycle lane at the very early stage of Lewis Road. I was in the cycle lane because I didn't have my helmet on.
Yeah.
So I was staying in the cycle lane. It's the safest part.
You'd think.
You'd think. So Quintin was kind of riding next to me with his mates in the road because they had their helmets on. So I was stay put in the cycle lane. As we got closer to the town, the road, it went a bit crazy. There was cones blocking off my cycle lane.
Right.
So I had to make a swerve. So it'd be just like bombing down the fast lane of a motorway and suddenly having that area cornered off, and you have to make an evasive action.
Oh, right.
So I was going down the cycle lane, cones, swerved right. Now, the white line, that I thought was just a white line that I was just going to swerve over. It wasn't a white line, it was a very 1-inch raised curb.
Oh.
Now, from my perspective as a rider, it just looked like a white line.
Oh, sugar, right.
So I just turned into that as if it was over a line, but it wasn't, it was a curb, and of course, it flipped my bike like a pancake. And
Sorry, you were riding the mountain bike at this time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was riding a mountain bike at this time that I hadn't long bought, and I flipped it. It just flipped over this little curb, and I landed on my face. I had my sunglasses on, and I knew straight away it was bad because I could just tell. I mean, it hit kind of more the side of my head rather than the top of my head. Fortunately, hands went down. Quintin went into me. He could see straight away. He looked at the side of my head and went, I think I can see some of your brain. I mean, it was a really bad.
Right.
It was a really bad. I was okay. I was conscious.
Oh,
I was conscious, but it was just a really. It was a really bad gash to the side, and anyway, so he stood there. He's a physio.
Oh,
so,
right, okay.
Which wasn't
fortunate, but
massively medically, but he kind of had an initial understanding of keep yourself still. He kept my neck still because obviously I wasn't sure. Yeah. Weirdly, a police van was driving along the road not long behind us, who saw the whole thing.
Right.
They all jumped out, bless them. We'd already called the ambulance at this point.
Yeah.
There's actually a picture somewhere in my photos of this policeman holding my neck, and there's blood streaming down my face, and they were really nice. They were lovely guys. They were saying, asked us what happened, and then the ambulance arrived, and I couldn't move my arm very much either because I went down on my left shoulder. Mm-hmm. So straight into the ambulance and up to A&E straight away, and basically I had a whole bunch of sort of fractured skull down on the left, 35 stitches, all I had stitches right into the corner of my eye because the sunglasses broke on my face. So I had stitches right in the corner of my eye and down there. Had sort of quite bad tissue damage. So it's actually sort of changed the shape of my face a little bit there. And 6 hairline fractures in my left shoulder, which was a shoulder that I'd damaged only in March, not long before, because I'd had somebody cycled into me, which is another story. But
and had you come off the bike that time as well?
No, this guy was flying towards me in this little alley, and he basically was going way too fast for where he should have been, and I had to take an evasive left because he was just coming at me, and I just hit the wall.
Right.
And that caused an AC injury. Anyway, so that was that. I got patched up, and I kind of recovered. But that was but I also got some compensation that because I felt that the cycle lane shouldn't have even been operational.
Yeah.
There should have been a sign saying cycle lane not in use, and those signs do exist anyway. So that was that. But yeah, that was a nasty crash. Still got scarred, and I've still got a damaged shoulder from that. That's a permanent thing. And that was that one time that I wasn't wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
And that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have been a lot quicker. I could have flipped over harder. I could have hit on the top of my head. I mean, there's that whole. It could have been.
Yes,
that played out.
Yeah, sure.
But yes, and to bring us fast forward to 2017, I have had a lot of accidents in my time anyway. So this is
at this point, ladies and gentlemen, literally a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I think Pete, you're going to share your most recent.
Couple of days ago. Now this is just so people don't get freaked out about cycling. And cycling is amazing. It's the best thing to keep you fit, and you can go miles with a bike, and it's fantastic, and I love it. And I'll never not ride. And I was on my bike 2 days after that initial crash in 2013.
Right.
And so yeah, this was on Monday. I decided to go for a long ride. I was in the country, and I was going down a country lane, not crazy quick, but quick enough for lanes. Country lanes are almost as dangerous, or if not more dangerous, than cycling around urban.
Right.
Because when you're in a city, you can see everything. Most of the time, you can see a lot of stuff. You keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
You can see lights, people, traffic lights, cars. You're aware of everything going on. If anything, you're hyper aware. In the country, it can all be a little bit quiet. Stuff can pop out of a lane.
Yeah.
Cars can zoom about lanes as if they're driving around a weird maze. And suddenly rules sometimes don't seem to apply. Sometimes in lanes, people over jump junctions and pull out because they don't think they're going to see anyone.
Sure.
So you have to be really aware in the country. It's like a whole other kind of craziness. If anything, I don't mind cycling around the town because I'm hyper aware of everything around me.
Even in light of that.
I don't fear it at all.
Okay.
But the country is as lovely as it is. You have to be your extra superhero vision and sight and hearing, and you have to presume and you have to anticipate more than any time.
Sure.
Based it on that, I was cycling down this lane. Well, I wasn't cycling, I was freewheeling down this lane. It was a hill. I saw this woman come to her junction from another little lane, and she saw me. She looked at me.
Oh no.
She didn't stop.
Oh,
she just pulled out. I couldn't believe she pulled out. I'm bearing in mind, this all happened in, I was almost on her car at this point. I mean, I was assuming she was, and the trouble is, because she pulled out, I just went, I took an invasive left into the lane she's coming from.
Right.
And I just managed to get behind her, but I carried straight on into the house on the corner.
Okay.
And I hit it really, pretty hard with my right shoulder and my helmet. And I hit that wall, just like as if I was barging a door in.
Yeah.
If you can imagine that.
Right, sure.
But I was barging a door in on a bike. And I badly bent the handlebars on my road bike. I did hit my head quite hard, and my shoulder took a brunt. I mean, I'm struggling to move my shoulder a lot today.
And fortunately, I know but fortunately the shoulder you had didn't damage previously.
This is my other shoulder now, which is nice to even it up.
Matching pair.
I have a chip on both shoulders now.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
I didn't want to say.
Yeah. So, but you know what? I had to cycle 20k back home as well because I was in the middle. First of all, I double checked my bike was okay. It was okay. The crank's a little bit funny, but and my hands were actually okay on the handlebars. There was no pain. Only if I needed to turn right, there would have been a problem.
Okay, yeah.
Because I couldn't really move my arm. But
what
fortunately,
about shock? Come on, you didn't go into shock here, or it just?
Do you know what? I could have been, I guess, in a bit of shock, but I kind of calmed down. Obviously I didn't cycle immediately.
Survival mode. I need to get home.
But I kind of got off the bike and I had some food. I had some snacks with me, so I drank my drink. I had some fruit pastels with me, which I always have as a little backup generator.
Sure.
Sat down there. It was a lovely, gorgeous, hot day. So
and this is after she made sure you were okay, I presume.
Well, this is after she just drove off. and was. I think she was completely unaware that I was even there, and I even made any evasive action. I think she was.
Oh dear.
And I'm, as I say, anticipation is the name of the game, and I saw her, but I just didn't think she'd pull out.
Yeah.
I was feathering the brakes already, so I was, but I just, I couldn't believe she pulled out really. I think generally she was in her own bubble. Well,
she probably was in a daze, yeah.
She had a passenger. So they could have been babbling on about whatever, and you
yeah.
know, maybe she just wasn't.
Well, who can say?
Who knows? But she did it. I was okay. Bike's a bit bashed. My shoulder's a bit bashed. But the moral of the story is, you know,
That helmet again.
that helmet. It really did. I mean, I hit that hard.
You could have been concussed. You could have. Well,
If I would have had a nasty headache. I think it could have been worse. I mean, there could have been a fracture of the head at that point. So helmet. I can't emphasise it enough because anything can happen at any point. That's the thing. I was just out for I go out for many hours riding a week. So 2013 to 2017, that's a lot of hours in between those 2 points without anything happening.
sure.
And so I don't want anyone to think it sounds dangerous. It's not. You just have to be really aware and wear a helmet. That's the least going to protect you.
Yeah.
On a minor accident, it's just.
Well, just for
And head versus concrete, they don't work well.
even on a cycle lane.
It's still cycle lanes are still concrete. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's like
I'm just reflecting on your on that last story.
Yeah. And cycle lanes, certainly in Brighton, some of the cycle lanes, certainly down by the pier, they're full of everyone other than cycles half the time. Which isn't a problem. I don't get stressed out with stuff like that.
Sure.
And people are just bumbling around, and you've got people with kids, dogs, and at any point something can happen. But
Sure.
you just have to be aware and don't go too fast. And the other big thing is not going too fast in situations where I wasn't going fast down this lane. I wasn't going crazy.
Sure.
So I wasn't bombing down it or anything like that. I was going down it at the speed I felt was fine for the conditions and my ability and all that stuff. So it wasn't. It was more the fact that she made an unusual move which caused me to cause the thing. So if I'd been going crazy quick, I probably would have passed her anyway. Ironically, if I'd been going really quick or stupidly quick, I would have gone past her.
Yeah,
and then she probably would have looked at me and said, "Oh, he's going too quick."
Well, there we are. That's it for another bike episode.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about the camel. The camel broom wagon.
Yeah.
We talked about the desert, didn't we, before?
We did. We have talked about the desert, and but I'm curious about a camel.
Yeah, we can talk about. There's plenty of other things to talk about.
Sure.
Always a pleasure, Sean.
All right, nice one.
See you soon.
Cheers.
And there we have it. Thank you very much for listening, and hope you enjoyed that. And do feel free to reach out to myself or Pete with any questions or suggestions for these mini bite-sized podcasts. On the email, it's pete@ptpete.com. On Instagram, it's ptpete150, or you can catch me on Instagram at SeanBFit. Speak soon. Bye.